What if I told you the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the voice in your head, that whisper of doubt that says, "You're not ready, you're not good enough, you'll probably fail." The Stoics face the same enemy: fear, hesitation, self-criticism, and they built mental weapons sharp enough to silence it forever. In this video, I'll reveal 7 brutal Stoic laws that will not just quiet your self-doubt, but crush it at its root. These aren't gentle tips. They are rules to rewire your mind into something unshakable. So stay with me until the end, because if you can live by these laws, you'll never see yourself the same way again. And before we dive in, make sure to hit subscribe, because each week we bring you Stoic wisdom to toughen your mind, sharpen your discipline, and make you unstoppable. Law 1. You are not your thoughts. Self-doubt thrives when we mistake our thoughts for truth. You wake up, look in the mirror, and hear a voice whisper, "You're not good enough. You'll never succeed. Why even try?" And because that voice speaks inside your head, you assume it must be you. But the Stoics knew better. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What he meant is this: thoughts come and go like clouds across the sky, but the sky itself, the deeper self, is untouched. You are the sky, not the clouds. Self-doubt is nothing more than a passing storm. It feels real because it's loud, but it is not you. Epictetus taught, "It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." In other words, reality is neutral. Your thoughts color it. When you believe the thought, "I'm not capable," you shrink your world. But if you learn to see the thought as just noise, it loses its grip. Here's the brutal Stoic law: separate your identity from your thoughts. The voice in your head is not the truth. It's a habit. Self-doubt is simply your brain rehearsing old patterns. And the way to break those patterns is observation. Next time doubt arises, don't fight it, don't fear it. Just step back and observe it. Tell yourself, "Here is the thought of doubt again. It is not me. It will pass." By creating distance, you weaken its control. Over time, this practice turns self-doubt into background noise you barely notice. Modern science confirms what the Stoics already knew. In cognitive behavioral therapy, a method deeply influenced by Stoic philosophy, patients are taught to defuse from negative thoughts, to see them as passing events rather than truths. And when you stop believing every thought, your mind becomes lighter, freer, calmer. Think of it like this: if a stranger on the street told you, "You're worthless," would you automatically believe them? Probably not. You'd laugh it off. So why take the same insults seriously when it comes from inside your head? The source doesn't make it true. The Stoic way is to build an identity rooted not in fleeting thoughts, but in action and virtue. Who you are is not what you think. It's what you do consistently. Your courage, your effort, your discipline, that's your real self. When you live by this law, self-doubt loses its claws. You stop mistaking noise for truth, and you reclaim your power. You are not your thoughts. You are the master who chooses which thoughts deserve attention and which ones die in silence. That's real freedom. Balance scale law 2. Act without waiting for confidence. One of the most dangerous lies self-doubt whispers is this: wait until you feel ready. People waste years, sometimes their entire lives, waiting for confidence before taking action. But the Stoics would laugh at this. Epictetus once asked, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" The brutal truth is that confidence does not come before action. It comes after. Think about learning to swim. Do you gain confidence by reading about swimming, or by standing on the shore waiting for courage? No. You gain confidence the moment you dive in, sputtering, struggling, but moving. Experience gives you proof that you can survive, and eventually thrive. The Stoics lived by duty, not by feelings. Marcus Aurelius woke before dawn to attend to imperial duties, even when exhausted. Did he feel confident every morning? No, but he acted because it was necessary. Seneca reminded himself, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Doubt magnifies fears of failure, but when you act, those fears shrink. Here's the law. Move first, confidence will follow. Waiting for certainty is a trap. Every step you take teaches your mind that you are capable. Every repetition builds strength. Confidence is nothing more than evidence collected through action. Think of a soldier on the battlefield. He doesn't wait for bravery before stepping forward. His act of stepping forward is bravery. The same applies to you. Stop telling yourself you need confidence to start the business, to speak up, to take the risk. Action itself is the medicine. In modern terms, psychologists call this behavioral activation. Instead of waiting for motivation, you act first, and motivation catches up. It's like lighting a fire. The spark comes from movement, not thought. Here's the Stoic mindset shift. Stop asking, "Do I feel confident?" Instead ask, "What's the right action here?" Then do it, regardless of feeling. The more you do, the less space self-doubt has to grow. Every time you act without waiting, you rewire your brain. You prove to yourself that you can handle discomfort, uncertainty, and fear. That proof becomes confidence. And the cycle continues. Action creates confidence, which fuels more action. So don't wait. Start. Act while afraid. Act while doubting. Act while unsure. Because on the other side of action, confidence is waiting. Balance Scale Law 3. Hardship is your proof of strength. Self-doubt often explodes in moments of difficulty. You hit a setback, you fail an exam, your business collapses, someone rejects you, and instantly the voice appears. "See? You're not good enough." But to the Stoics, hardship was never evidence of weakness. It was evidence of training. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." The Stoics believe that life itself is a gymnasium for the soul, where obstacles are the weights that build your inner muscles. Without resistance, no strength can grow. When hardship hits, most people ask, "Why me?" The Stoic asks, "Why not me? Why should I be spared the training everyone else must endure?" This shift destroys self-doubt, because suddenly, the obstacle is no longer a curse. It's proof that fate has chosen you to grow stronger. Marcus Aurelius, ruling during wars and plagues, told himself, "What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the obstacle isn't blocking your path. It is the path. The difficulty is not a punishment. It's the raw material from which your character is forged. Here's the brutal law. If life tests you, it means you're capable of carrying more. Hardship is not a sign of inadequacy. It's a sign of destiny. You don't get stronger by lifting feathers. You get stronger by lifting weight that challenges you. Think of every hardship you've endured in your life. At the time, you doubted yourself. You thought you couldn't handle it. And yet, here you are. You survived. And you're stronger because of it. That's the Stoic way of reading hardship. Not as defeat, but as certification that you are tougher than you realize. Modern science supports this too. Psychologists call it post-traumatic growth, the phenomenon where people emerge from adversity with more strength, more resilience, and more purpose than before. The Stoics understood this 2,000 years ago. So when self-doubt creeps in during hard times, remember, this is not proof of your weakness. This is proof of your training. Every setback is sharpening you. Every rejection is redirecting you. Every obstacle is building you into someone who cannot be broken. The question is not, can I handle this? The question is, what strength is this teaching me? When you answer that, doubt disappears, and what's left is gratitude for the weight you're carrying, because it is making you indestructible. Law 4. Control what you can, release what you can't. If self-doubt had a favorite weapon, it would be worry. You worry about outcomes, about people's opinions, about whether things will work out or collapse. You torture yourself over events completely outside your control. And in that cycle, doubt multiplies. Epictetus shattered this illusion with his famous rule. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. That's it. 2 categories. Everything in your life belongs to one of them. Up to you. Your choices, your effort, your attitude, your discipline. Not up to you. The weather, other people's behavior, accidents, death, fortune. And here's the Stoic law. Worry only about the first, let go of the second. Self-doubt is born when you take responsibility for what you don't control. You start thinking, what if they laugh at me? What if I fail? What if I lose everything? But these aren't in your hands. You can control how prepared you are, how disciplined you are, how resilient you are. The rest belongs to fate. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his diary, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Self-doubt fades when you anchor yourself to what is within your reach and release the rest. Think about an archer. His job is to aim carefully, draw the bow, and release the arrow. Once it flies, the result is no longer his. It's wind, chance, and fortune. If he obsesses over the target, he'll shoot badly. If he focuses on his technique, he'll master the art. You are that archer. Life is your bow. Your job is effort, not outcome. Modern psychology echoes this with the concept of locus of control. People with an internal locus, those who focus on what they can control, tend to succeed more and stress less. Those with an external locus, obsessing over what others think or what luck brings, live in constant anxiety. The Stoics mastered this long before psychology gave it a name. So when doubt attacks, ask yourself, is this under my control? If yes, act. If no, release it instantly. It is not your weight to carry. This simple filter, practiced daily, will silence 90% of your unnecessary worry. When you live by this law, you become unshakable. People's opinions don't cage you. Outcomes don't paralyze you. The future doesn't scare you. You do your duty, and you let the universe decide the rest. That's how self-doubt dies, starved of its food. Worry. Balance scale, Law 5. Silence the inner critic with action. Self-doubt is rarely quiet. It's a constant critic inside your head, whispering failure before you even begin. It tells you you're not talented enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough. And the more you listen, the louder it gets. The Stoics had one brutal cure. Don't argue with the critic. Outwork it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. That's the Stoic rule. Stop debating with the inner critic and start proving it wrong with action. When you sit still, doubt thrives. Inaction feeds the critic. But when you move, when you take the first step, the critic weakens. Every action you take is evidence that the voice is wrong. You don't destroy doubt by thinking. You destroy it by building a record of action. Think of a craftsman. The first chair he builds is wobbly. His critic says, "You're terrible at this." But he keeps building. After 10 chairs, he's better. After 100, he's a master. The critic has nothing left to say. Action silenced it. Seneca wrote, "We become brave by doing brave things." The same applies to confidence. You don't wait until you feel ready. You act, and through repetition, you become ready. The critic says, "You can't." Your actions say, "Watch me." Modern science agrees. In psychology, This is called exposure. The more you expose yourself to feared situations, the less power the fear has. Avoidance feeds doubt. Exposure starves it. Here's the brutal law. When in doubt, act. Not recklessly, but deliberately. Take the step, however small. Want to write a book? Don't argue with yourself. Write one page. Want to start a business? Don't fantasize. Launch something, however imperfect. Action is the ultimate antidote. Because here's the truth. The critic inside you has no power without your permission. It thrives on hesitation, not action. The Stoics knew that the best way to quiet the storm inside was to live fully outside. Through deeds, through courage, through work. Every act of courage you take is a nail in the coffin of self-doubt. Silence the critic. Act, and let your results speak louder than your fears. Law 6. Indifference to praise and blame. Self-doubt often comes from fear of judgment. What will people think? Will they laugh, criticize, reject me? Or will they approve, applaud, praise me? The Stoics saw this trap clearly. They said, both praise and blame are chains, and the free mind must break them. Epictetus warned, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Why? Because caring too much about approval makes you a slave to it. If your confidence depends on praise, then criticism will destroy you. True freedom comes only when you are indifferent to both. Marcus Aurelius asked himself, what is fame? An empty clatter of voices. He knew the crowd's opinion shifts like the wind. Yesterday's hero is today's fool. To base your worth on such a fragile foundation is to guarantee a life of self-doubt. Here's the law. Stop living for the crowd, live for virtue. Ask not, do they approve of me? But am I acting with courage, justice, self-control, and wisdom? If yes, you are already successful. No applause required. Think of Socrates. He was mocked, tried, condemned. Yet he stood firm because he didn't measure himself by opinion, but by principle. His calm in the face of death proved that true confidence is rooted in inner standards, not outer voices. Modern life makes this law harder, but more necessary. Social media thrives on likes, comments, and validation. But chasing approval online makes you fragile offline. To destroy doubt, detach from both praise and blame. Neither defines you. When someone praises you, be grateful but not inflated. When someone criticizes you, reflect if it's true. If not, discard it. Either way, remain steady. That's indifference. That's Stoic strength. The moment you stop needing validation, self-doubt dies. Because doubt lives only when your self-worth is in the hands of others. Free yourself, and no opinion, good or bad, can shake your foundation. Balance scale, Law 7. Memento mori. Remember you will die. The final, most brutal Stoic law against self-doubt is this. Remember death. To the Stoics, life is short, uncertain, and fragile. Every wasted moment in hesitation, every day lost to doubt, is a day you will never get back. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. When you remember that death is inevitable, the voices of doubt lose their power. Suddenly, the fear of embarrassment, of failure, of rejection seems laughable compared to the final silence awaiting us all. Seneca wrote, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. And what wastes life more than self-doubt? You delay your dreams, silence your voice, shrink your potential, all because of fear. But death doesn't delay. It marches closer each day. Here's the law. Let mortality fuel urgency. The awareness that your time is limited should burn away hesitation. If today were your last day, would you care about critics? Would you care about failure? Or would you act boldly, leaving nothing unsaid, nothing undone? Modern psychology backs this up. Studies show that people who reflect on mortality often live with greater clarity, purpose, and courage. Memento mori is not morbid, it's liberating. It reminds you that fear is temporary, but regret is eternal. When you live with death in mind, self-doubt has no space. You simply don't have time for it. You replace hesitation with urgency, fear with courage, doubt with boldness. You act because tomorrow is never promised. And so, the Stoics destroy doubt not by seeking endless reassurance, but by facing the most brutal truth. Life ends. Therefore, live fully. Speak boldly. Act courageously. Leave no room for doubt in a life that will not last forever.